But Healthy Home is the first time this conversation is being had about, hey, you can engage your stem cells in a natural way. Will you talk us through that, Josh?
Yeah, I think you brought up the first important point, which is that the mechanism of StemActive is to rejuvenate and reactivate the stem cells that are already within your body. Because from a therapeutic standpoint, we typically think of receiving stem cells exogenously through most commonly through injections. But as I've mentioned in a previous call with our Chinese audience, that when you receive something exogenously, it's analogous to receiving some kind of transplant, like an organ transplant. There's always a risk of rejection, and yeah, and even though therapeutically the stem cells that you're injecting are derived from your own stem cells within the blood. During the purification process or trying to amplify or purify the stem cell, there's always risk of something going wrong in terms of rejecting. But when you're simply reactivating the stem cells already present within your bone marrow, the risk is pretty much close to none. So that's the huge benefit of taking StemActive. Yeah.
That's incredible, Dr. Wu. I mean, I've thought about that before, but you're exactly right. There's this internal component, whereas up till this point, it's been something external that you introduced to your body.
Yeah.
STEM Active being an internal, all natural, sort of different approach to stem cell health. I really think we're on the cutting edge of this conversation, and I think it's going to blow the door wide open. And a lot of people are going to follow in the healthy home path of understanding stem cells and why they can be activated through your own body and through a natural process, and
Right.
in a way that's not expensive. It's attainable for everyone. Dr. Wu, will you walk us through I guess, the components for aging and why stem cells are an important process of that?
Yeah, yeah. So I also shared in another call. There's a when I was learning in medical school, there's a simple formula for calculating the rough percentage. It's not precise, but it roughly gives you a ballpark figure of the percentage of active stem cells within your body, and it goes by 100 minus your age. So when you're a baby, let's say you're age 0, you're a couple months old, the percentage of active pool of stem cells is equivalent to 100%, right? And for somebody who's maybe 50 years old, then that percentage goes down to 100 minus 50, so 50%. So, and through aging, your the pool of active stem cells declines, right? And that leads to your ability to repair your own body and to renew your own body. This ability also declines over time, so you kind of accrue kind of age-related damage throughout your lifespan. So to counteract that, right? I think it's critical to really address the source of the problem, which is your declining pool of stem cells. So the reason why the pool of stem cells declines over time is the stem cells die by a process called apoptosis, which is a fancy way of saying programmed cell death, or those stem cells enter a dormant stage. The medical term for that is called quiescence. So the role of StemActive is to really reactivate those dormant quiescent stem cells such that the pool of active stem cells remain relatively high, and that way it's a way to combat to the signs of aging and to slow down the aging process. So you're really addressing the root cause of the problem, which I think it's very beneficial.
This is amazing to hear you talk about this. Having and even currently, diving into stem cell research. We don't get to always get involved in the really technical aspects of, what are stem cells, how do they work. So to hear you talk about, it's the decline in stem cells or when they're shut off, is
Yeah.
when the damage begins to happen. And so I love what you did there was really easy math, right? Like if you're 50, the 50% shut off. And so I hope everybody's taking some notes. And we'll have Dr. Wu on again, when we'll probably be having the same conversations. But me personally, and I can speak for a lot of other people, we're very hungry for this information because we are unlocking the stem cell conversation and through our product StemActive. So Dr. Wu, I do want to touch on this a little bit. I don't know if you want to dive in here, and if you don't want to, that's okay. But let's talk about the natural ingredients in StemActive that make it effective. And you talked about this a little bit before of like how it is switching things on and why that works. But let's dive into the StemActive ingredient deck.
Right.
Why that all natural supplement panel is effective for helping us make changes internally and naturally.
Right, right. So StemActive is composed of a proprietary blend of extracts from natural sources. So, for example, plants and minerals and etc. So, and there have been studies done by the inventor of StemActive, Dr. Krishendra Paul, that really shows an uptick in stem cell count in the span of a couple hours after taking it. And another thing I like to point out, there was a member of Healthy Home did blood tests. So the person went to have his blood drawn in the morning, and then afterwards took StemActive, and then a couple hours went back to the clinic and get his second blood drawn. And there was an uptick in what's called a CD34 cell count. So CD34 is a cell marker for a type of stem cell called hematopoietic stem cell. And this type of stem cell gives rise to all the cells that make up your circulatory system, the red blood cells, the white blood cells, and the platelets. So seeing that, it's really promising to see that there is a noticeable uptick in CD34 count. So that was very promising to me. And it's for someone like me who has a very technical background, seeing something as a laboratory test, it doesn't get as technical as that. So that was very exciting to me. In addition, I think when it comes to supplement, right, it might not necessarily benefit everyone, but on the flip side, given the fact that it's composed of a blend of naturally sourced ingredients, the risk of any danger is pretty much close to none, right? So for something that has pretty much close to no downside, and it might give you benefit, which has been shown by numerous members of the Healthy Home family, as well as through objective lab tests, I think there's really no reason why you shouldn't try this product out.
Again, Josh, I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I know that we could go on for a really long time. And so I want to tell all the members out there that Dr. Wu will be joining us more frequently to discuss through this technical aspect. And I love that Dr. Wu touched on that. He comes from a very technical background, and when you're working in laboratories and you're researching against a baseline, and then you're actually seeing something that's making some real improvements, or you're really seeing the needle move, that is exciting. And especially when you're doing the research, to see something interact and take effect, you're like, I'm sure, wow, this actually works. And I'm with you. Like, why not try something that is, again, I won't say it enough, but this stem cell conversation is going to keep happening. And I love that we get to be a main part of it, because as we help people to just take StemActive twice a day, once a day, and you mentioned there that the technical terms were great. I would love for you to re-say those again. But when you can get that to reactivate and know that it's making a difference in your body in a few hours, we love to make those changes in people's lives. Dr. Wu, just a couple more things. I know this is kind of off script or whatever, but it sounds like you've been encouraged by the results you're seeing in the StemActive tests. You mentioned our researcher and how we developed StemActive. It's a very new concept, and
Mhm.
we are really going to take charge of this, and we're really going to let this light shine to the world, right? We want to get this
Mhm.
message out quickly.
Yeah.
When you think of it personally, as you think of your friends or your family, or as a doctor, like, what do you like in StemActive, or what do you think is the most promising in helping improve people's lives?
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's addressing the root cause of aging, which is the declining pool of stem cells. So, in terms of longevity, it certainly helps in that regard. And have also been studies that have shown that comparing two same age individuals, one of whom is considered healthy, and the others consider having, numerous age-related chronic illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension, etc., high cholesterol. On average, the pool of active stem cells for the diseased individual is oftentimes significantly lower compared to a healthy individual of the same age. So, um, given stem cells main functions in repairing and renewing your body, it's also certainly beneficial for the quote unquote disease individual to take StemActive and really try to boost up that active stem cell level. So I think that's also very important. And in medicine, right, it's all about weighing the risks and benefits. And as I've mentioned, given the fact that StemActive is composed of naturally sourced ingredients, the risk of taking it is pretty much close to none. Then why not give it a try and see the potential of reaping the rewards of boosting your stem cells, right? So
Right. I'm
yeah,
I'm
it's
with
all
you.
about weighing the risk and benefits. So yeah.
And you're absolutely right. Why not try something natural that could to possibly help you? I don't want to keep you, Dr. Wu. I know you're busy. We have been going around the globe. We're all on different in different time zones. So I want
Right.
to thank you for your time, and to really have this stem cell discussion, and in particularly talk about StemActive, our hero product that is taking the world by storm. Again, we're going to see this conversation happening over and over, and we will hear more from Dr. Wu. But I'm very grateful that I got to have this conversation with you. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to participate in this call. This is Zoom, Dr. Wu.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Brooks, for this interview. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we'll be in touch. We'll be doing more of these. Anything that you want to say to round things out? I think you did it beautifully there, but if there's any last words, I'll let you take them.
Yeah, I think it is my job as a medical professional and everyone to try to bring awareness to stem cell. I think it's really the next frontier in terms of therapeutics and supplements, health supplements. So I think as a medical professional, it is my job to educate people. So I'm very happy and thrilled to have this conversation and to spread the knowledge. Yeah, thank you, everyone.